Since time immemorial, humans have waged war. Some scholars believe these wars are started over limited resources, religions, or possibly the rule of threes. Two comics from Houston, Texas believe that all strife comes from one group of people looking at another group of people and thinking, that group's hats are silly, and I hate them. Welcome to Silly Hats, a history podcast, with your hosts Will Loden and Nick Palermo.
Welcome to Silly Hats. We are your hosts. That's Will Loden.
What up? And over there, that's Nick Palermo.
Hi.
What's our theory, Nick?
Our philosophy. It's philosophy, really.
Yeah, exactly.
It's that all human conflict boils down to one group of people looking at another group of people and being like, their hats are dumb, and we should take all their stuff. And they're women.
And they're women.
And yeah, we prove that with this podcast.
Right.
That's how you prove theory in the modern world.
That is how you prove theories in modern world.
It's dumb, but we're just going with it.
This one is actually one of the OG stories about
the conflict.
Silly hats.
Today's
conflict is all about silly hats. It's one of the longest wars in antiquity. What we're talking about today is the Punic Wars.
The Punic Wars. I know
Yes.
nothing about that.
All right, perfect. The Punic Wars are, of course, named after a group of people called the Carthaginians.
Okay.
I know that
Maybe the translation, it's one of those lost in translation things.
they were called Carthaginians because their home base was Carthage, but like their nicknames were the Phoenicians. So the Phoenicians,
They got to get their shit together.
Yeah,
Their verbiage is all off.
it was very confusing back in the day.
They keep
'cause, like,
changing styles every week. They're like,
Right.
all right, fucking just pick some shit we like.
No, now we're spooky and we're called the Phoenicians.
Everyone put on these black clothes.
Yeah. Well, you see, they're actually based in modern day Tunisia. Punic, Tunisia. There's kind of a jump there, like P and T sounds.
They have
like
one similar letter.
Yeah, and that's a U.
How dare you try to make that into something?
But at least they're called Carthaginians too, so that also helps. They were fighting the Romans.
Okay.
So
Romans getting it in again.
Romans getting it in, but we didn't know how this war was gonna go, because first off, the war took over 150 years, and like the way everyone was writing, it was super brutal.
That sounds like a lot, but we're like almost there with Afghanistan.
Yeah,
like a little bit. I mean, it's a bit of an exaggeration, but come on.
Yeah, exactly. Well, counting the British and stuff that we've talked about before, they've been invading modern Afghanistan for about 150 years.
Yeah.
And we just don't learn from it. There's some really great quotes that come out from the Punic Wars. You get to meet these guys. You get to meet Hannibal Barca, who of course took the
exposed
elephants.
Bill Cosby. Go.
Yeah, exactly. Hannibal Barca, who exposed Bill Cosby, and had a really good 2015.
Fucking top of the line.
But his dad, Hamilcar Barca, literally made him swear an oath when he was like 5 and he was dying. He was like, "You will always hate the Romans forever because of their silly hats."
Passing down prejudice.
Yeah.
These are generational wars. Like, why are we fighting? Oh, no, my dad really hated that guy.
And then he died, and he said I had to. And I was 5, and so my last and first memory of my father is him saying, "Hate these people forever."
It's similar to like why that guy's a blacksmith.
Right. Exactly.
His dad was a blacksmith, and his dad's dad was a blacksmith. So I murder.
Yeah.
I kill Romans.
Pretty much. That's it. On the other side, on the Roman side, you'll have Cato the Elder, who was a senator in Rome, end every one of his speeches on the Senate floor with, "And Carthage must be destroyed," and then he'll sit down. So he had, he would be talking about like, "Hey, I really think we should build an aqueduct over the Palatine Hill, so we can get more shit out of rich people stuff. Oh, and also Carthage must be destroyed." So,
All right, that public library we talk about, sure.
Yeah.
But also, equally important, Carthage must be destroyed.
So they originally started this war in 264 BC. So that's when the first Punic War started. They'd always been fucking with each other. So the Carthaginian, it all started over things that you love very, very much, Nick. It started over Sicily.
Houston rap?
Houston, yes. It started over.
That's fucking weird.
Right. It started over Sicily. So the Roman Republic at the time had
All
just
bippity bopping it about.
yeah, they were like, oh, we won the Latin.
We talk.
They won the Latin Wars, is what they were called, is because they didn't let people within their republic vote, and then they were all like, and then they all
We won the election.
yeah, exactly. Why can't we vote? And so
Why did the mafia start it?
yeah, exactly, exactly. Oh man, making fun of the mafia makes me happy. It's what are we gonna kill? We gotta kill this fat quasi historian. No, so they had won the Latin Wars. They had beaten the Etruscans. They had beaten a lot of people all around. They had taken over the boot.
Oh, okay.
And they had taken over the boot, and there were a couple of Greek settlements on Sicily. So the Greeks were actually on Sicily before the Romans got there.
But then they started getting nervous.
Yeah.
A lot of Sicilians around here.
Exactly. You know, Sicily's full of Sicilians. The Carthaginians, however, had already had part of Sicily, so they had the southwestern part, basically the New Mexico of Sicily.
It's where meth's from in Sicily.
Exactly. A lot of turquoise and meth, if you know what I mean. But they had the western part of Sicily, and then they had taken over most of Sicily. The Carthaginian armies, in essence, they were seafaring people. Like, they had really good boats. They were based out of North Africa, but they had territory all over North Africa, into Spain, a little bit in southern France, and a little bit in Sicily.
Strong navy.
Super strong navy. That's what they were known for. The Romans, not known for having a navy, like, at all. Like, they were typically...
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that.
That was-
Romans on boats?
Yeah,
they're
no.
just in, like, carts and,
Yeah,
with helmets and swords.
Yeah, they like their siege equipment.
Yeah.
And
The amount of times you say siege equipment is amazing and great. I never get to hear siege equipment.
It's super important, Like, I don't know. I think the Scorpion arrow shooters were super cool. Also,
that sounds badass. It sounds like a cool ass toy that sold out on Christmas.
Oh no! It definitely got banned in the 80s because kids kept choking on the pieces.
The 90s. The 80s, they didn't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly. The 80s they were.
You shouldn't have bought it, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, exactly. The 80s they were smoking in the ball pits, just at McDonald's.
Mom, you burned me again. Shut up.
Shut up.
I'm trying to drink my wine that I bought here.
Just enjoy Transformers and leave me alone. Yeah. So the conflict began because so they just started contesting stuff over Sicily. And the thing is, what happened was, the Carthaginians were like, y'all don't have a navy, you dumb fucks. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Swim over here? And then they made a bunch of jerk-off motions. And then what the Romans
I wonder
did,
what the ancient jerk-off motion was.
Yeah, exactly.
There was one. Is it just the same?
It's got to be very, very similar.
I mean,
and,
jerking off wasn't substantially different.
right.
You'd think.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think.
What if it was? We use rocks. What?
Yeah,
I don't know.
How? Yeah. Well, I guess you do come to vases back in the day, but so the basically the Carthaginians were like, y'all don't have a navy. Like, how are you going to even get here? And what the Romans did was they waited for a Greek trader to come to Rome, and they stole his boat. And just,
Oh, you didn't think about robbery, did you?
Yeah, exactly. And so
You think we're down to murder but not rob?
yeah.
We'll rob to murder.
Yeah, exactly. And so they stole these Greek boats, and then they built a bunch of them, and they attacked like Sardinia, and then like Corsica, and they took a bunch of the little islands. The Romans took a bunch of little islands, and they're like,
Where was this badass navy?
the badass navy. This is where they were other places.
They got a couple of rowboats and strapped some fucking guns onto them, and they took down this.
And in essence, Rome. So basically, like they just they built these boats. So the Romans. The way that I like to describe the Romans is they are cool with losing a shit ton of
Italians
people.
kill a lot of people on rowboats.
Dude, they kill. Venice hadn't even been built yet, but they were ready to. I think it was called Ravenna at the time.
Fredo, I was thinking Fredo.
But yeah, so they start taking these little islands, and then the Carthaginians like, all right, and so they start killing all the Romans. And like, here's the thing about Romans: when they die, they always just come back madder. So like,
Yeah.
like, it's like you kill one of us, 3 of us are gonna come around.
Kill Eddie, Vinny, Tony, and Nicky. You're gonna come around the corner.
Yeah, exactly.
Be pissed.
Be pissed.
You made my mother cry.
Yeah, exactly. Oh no, he was an angel. But no, there's a wild toughness about the Romans. Like the first time they tried to invade Carthage, their main hub in North Africa. A huge storm came and just sank everything, and the Carthaginians were just like, here's another jerk off.
God's on our side.
Yeah, exactly. And then the Romans go, what if we do this again? Yeah. And then they just did it again. And
That's
then,
smart.
Yeah, no, they were very
Stick-to-itiveness.
the stick-to-itiveness.
If we've learned anything, what you need is stick-to-itiveness and siege equipment.
Yes, exactly.
If you want to win in history, those are the things you need.
So yeah, that's exactly it. The war
And
being
never exile someone, just kill them.
just yeah,
They will come back to murder
the
you.
3 things that we've learned. A lot of there's the primary sources about this are true. We've never actually found this, but the Romans basically invented like this weird ramming drawbridge. Because they couldn't figure out how to shoot arrows on boats and stuff. Like the Carthaginians were good archers, and they
Can't
were
figure
good
it out.
sailors.
Let's just hit a shit with some big log.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it, chief.
That is literally what they were like. They're like, so all right, they keep shooting arrows at us with fire on them, which is bullshit. What if we keep our soldiers? We have better soldiers, pound for pound, like fighters. We got heavier armor. What if we get a basic crank drawbridge thing and then just send our guys over there to murder them all?
We considered hitting them real hard.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they did. And then the Carthaginians, which this is one of their big problems, is they didn't have a big standing army. Mm-hmm. They would hire mercenaries every once in a while if they had to actually fight, and that's not what the Romans did. The Romans were like, get everyone from Rome and the surrounding places, and let's promise the poor people farmland.
Yeah.
Right? Never actually give it to them. Make them sign
Your gang's always going to be more loyal than just stragglers you bring in and pay.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly. The Roman army, is just one of the most fascinating armies ever. If you, especially the Republican era, because they get trained in these they're basically called decades. It was 10 people, and so the term decimate comes from if your group fucks up that bad, you draw straws and you have to kill one of your best friends.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, letting the weak blood out. We're stronger now.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't like killing your friend, did you?
Well, maybe try harder next time.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to embarrass me like that again?
Well, you're going to have to spill some more friend blood.
Right. And so, yeah. So then finally the Carthaginians, they bring an army of I think it was it's 40,000 infantry, 6,000 cavalry, 60 elephants. It's a big point. And
what does the infantry do?
The
swords and stuff?
Yeah, so Carthaginian infantry was basically a lot more spears than swords. But yeah,
I'm picturing M16, so I know it's not that.
No. This is hand-to-hand guys.
Yeah.
This is your close-quarter troops, your 6,000 cavalry, of course, guys on horses, and your 60 elephants.
I was gonna say the elephants were just chilling, or
no, war elephants. So actually,
they were pissed. They gave them meth.
They were African war
jacked
elephants.
Up.
No, it was the first time Romans had ever had to fight an elephant before. So,
what is this?
Jesus Christ!
Imagine how terrifying that would be. War elephants? Yeah. And what did they charge, or did they?
Yeah. So what you do with war elephants is you get 5 guys on the top.
War elephant, great band name.
Yeah.
That's not a band name by the end of this fucking season.
Right.
We failed.
That should be part of our merch. Just great band name.
Yeah.
No, so you put 3 to 5 guys on the top of the elephant. You load it full of arrows and rocks and like spears and stuff, and you literally just ride an elephant and look down on people and shoot archery and stuff. Or just,
that's hilarious and terrifying. There's just rocks and arrows coming from this top of a charging elephant. What the fuck is happening?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. It took the
It's
Romans
like a dirty bomb of the past.
But here's the dirty bomb that trumped the dirty bomb is the Romans found out that horse blood made elephants go berserk. So what the Romans would do is they would ride with 2 horses. They'd
What
come
sort
up
of biblical bullshit is this? Attack the war elephants with the horse blood.
Yeah.
What is happening?
Yeah. No, so they would have a guy ride up with like 2 horses. He would slit one of the horse's throat and then ride away on the other horse and just like try to throw buckets.
How's the battle going? It's getting out of hand. Really? You can't even imagine. I could give you 10 guesses. You're not going to get close.
Not great. Yeah, so this Carthaginian empire comes in because the Romans have moved in Sicily. The Romans have moved west. They're like, this is our Sicily now. And then like they started like wearing gold rings. It was wild.
He doesn't have any wearing gold rings.
There's a big Carthaginian army that comes that I just explained about, and they were captured by the Romans because the Romans did cool shit like attacked at night and figured out how to fuck up war elephants.
And I was thinking, imagine how those animals felt too. We think it's crazy. Like, what the fuck is happening?
Exactly.
They just slit Jonathan's throat. That's one of the horses' names. I bet.
I'm glad I'm not Jonathan. Clip clop, clip clop, clip clop, clip clop.
He's kind of a dick, though.
So yeah, that was at the Battle of Acaragus, and that night, when they tried to, when the Romans sieged the city and took the city, Romans just doing cool shit, selling 30,000 people into slavery, just doing cool shit that Romans do.
Yeah.
So
profiteering, in short.
Yeah. Yep. But the land war for the First Punic War it became a stalemate because the Carthaginians built such big, cool, high walls for everything, and so that became like a real problem for the Romans, who were like, we gotta win.
The Romans are like, we're over here now.
Yeah, exactly. And then they're like, we're over here now, and so then they were like, what we should do? We should invade Africa. Yeah. Let's
go somewhere else.
Yeah, that's where their homes are. and so they
going after their family.
Yeah, cool shit like that.
Cool shit like organized criminal shit like that.
Yeah. And so they finally surrounded they surrounded the big city of Carthage, which was called Carthage. Just to keep things easy. And so then the Romans were like, all right, you've got to give us all your stuff, see? And the Carthaginians were like...
they were holding Tommy guns on the back of a Ford. Where'd you get a Model T? Shut up and give us your stuff, see?
Yeah, exactly. So this is the First Punic War. So like, you got to give us all your stuff, see? And the Carthaginian goes, I don't think so. And they go, no. And
come on.
Yeah. And so they basically sued for peace, so the Romans would leave Africa, and the Romans
sued for peace.
Yeah, they were like, hey, can we not fight here? Huh? How's that sound? We're big traitors, and so they sued for peace, and the Roman army then proceeded to.
You keep saying that like in a court. What do you mean sued for peace? Is that a phrase I don't know?
That's a phrase you don't know. Yeah. You're like, hey, can you stop
Can
hitting
you
me?
just stop saying? I asked you what it meant, and you just said it again 3 times. That doesn't help me at all.
What if I say it's slower? No, it doesn't. Yeah. They asked for peace. They didn't want to surrender.
A truce sort
it
of
was
deal.
A truce. Yeah, exactly.
We're tough. You're tough. Let's be tough elsewhere.
Yeah. Let's be tough elsewhere. Let's not in front of my mom's house. Yeah. I don't want to. Yeah, no.
I'm on probation.
Exactly.
We're both on probation. Let's not fight at school. That's what they did.
Yeah. Exactly. And then they went back to Sicily and fought it out there again. They kept fighting at Sicily for the First Punic War, and this by the way, this has been 20 years, just back and forth, just sinking ships. You've got guys. You've got I think his name's Hanno the Great is of course the king of Carthage.
I mean, there's so many casts of whatever their SNL was making fun of this. It's been 20 years.
Yeah, exactly. What are you doing, dude? I bet their opening monologues scathing,
poignant.
Yeah, exactly. Super poignant. Meanwhile, Tertius, that idiot. And so the first Punic War ends because it's a slow war of attrition. Like the Romans keep pushing, and it ends with after 20 years, it ends because the Carthaginians have to start asking for loans. You know you're doing bad historically when you have to start asking for loans from Egypt to fight.
Yeah. Asking for loans for wars it's a bad sign.
Unless you're Switzerland, those goddamn assholes kept.
Don't they all have a gun? Doesn't everybody have to have a gun in their house in Switzerland?
You get trained to, and they all. Yeah.
Is that a myth?
I think. Well, it's one of those. All right. So this is just a side story. There's a guy I met from Switzerland who moved to Aberdeen, Mississippi, because he was like, I cannot have enough guns in Switzerland. And I was like, well, didn't you move to the right place?
And then he's like, I come to Aberdeen, Mississippi. What a weird.
Exactly.
I feel like you came here because of a forum.
Right.
And it makes me uncomfortable.
Right. Did you get exiled? But no. So you can tell that like, especially if you're a trading empire and you have to spend your time not trading, you want to sue for peace, and you're asking for loans. You're asking for loans from all over the known world. You're asking for loans from different places in Greece.
The unknown world. Get somebody.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Everything that fell apart with Alexander the Great, you're asking his like great grandsons, like the Ptolemaic kings of Egypt. The Macedonian guys. You're asking all sorts of stuff.
I feel like there wasn't a lot of empathy back then, though. So,
No.
Did they get turned down a bunch?
I bet. Yeah, no, it's, I think, yeah. They did a bunch of loans and trade concessions to end the first war. But they once again sued for peace. They asked for everyone to chill out.
Thank you. Now I know what it means. See, if we wouldn't have stopped, I would have just felt like an asshole for the next 15 minutes.
They sued for peace, and then they had to give up Sicily. So bang, Sicily's gone. We better take a 40-year break. Regroup. And have some really pissed off generals.
And just Sicilians.
Yeah.
Just furious actual Sicilians.
So everyone's mad about.
What year was this again?
This was in like 254 BC to 230. So like the yeah. Like this war doesn't end for 100 and something years. Like it's just like people keep getting hit on. And
then they're just like, we're tired. Can we just stop for a little bit?
Yeah. Exactly. Luckily, Hannibal Barca's father, Hamilcar Barca. Yeah, he's as part of this generation that's pissed about the Romans taking stuff from him, and the Roman Empire is
it makes Sicily great again.
Yeah, exactly. But he's over in Spain because the Romans are starting to mess with everything in Spain going on, and Hamilcar leads the revolution over there, tries to fight the Romans, gets stabbed a couple of times, and makes his not infant son, but like young son go, hate these people forever.
He just wants to share something with his son.
Yeah, exactly. Like fishing for some people.
Or, being a Raiders fan,
Exactly.
Like,
being a Raiders
it's
fan.
the same exact thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just as much violence.
Just being a Raiders fan.
Violence against strangers.
Yeah, exactly. The Second Punic War starts a couple years later in 215.
They've had some time to rest.
218.
They had time to clean up the horse blood and, and the
exactly.
war elephant parts.
Yeah, the war elephant parts. Mop up the dolphin.
We were lousy with tusks.
Yeah, and so, then this guy Hannibal Barca, like he's just like, fuck this, like dicks out for the boys. How can we look? Because after the First Punic War, the Carthage did have to dismantle part of their navy. So their dope ass navy, they couldn't just do what they were doing anymore. They had to give because
they had to sell some of the shit.
They had to sell some of the shit to the Romans. They're like, hey, if you want us to stop fighting, which we're Romans, we don't have to stop fighting.
No, we're gonna lose. Whatever. I don't give a fuck.
I will keep going.
See my little kid there? He's gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, exactly. So they had to sell off some of their naval equipment, and so then Hannibal's like, all right. Where do the Romans never think that you'll come from? The fucking Alps, the big mountains. why the fuck would anyone come over those mountains, especially with elephants? And
Think about how hard that would be.
think about how hard-
Logistically.
Yeah, logistically, he's coming from Spain too. He's out of his goddamn mind. So that's exactly what Hannibal did to start the second Punic War.
What's that on the mountain? Are those war elephants? Yeah. Oh no!
We haven't seen those since the first Punic War.
Why did we call it the first?
Yeah, exactly.
This is leading to this.
Yeah, exactly. It was just the Punic War.
We should have called it the last Punic War.
No.
Let's stop calling this one two.
Yeah,
Shit.
exactly. Why are we calling it the second one? Is there going to be a third one?
God
Why do we
damn
keep
it.
doing this? So Hannibal comes over the Alps with a shit ton of war elephants, a bunch of Spanish legions, and a bunch of barbarians from southern France and parts of Germany that hate the Romans. All right, and so as they get over into Italy proper, there are a bunch of tribes of Italians who are under Roman leadership who Hannibal's like, hey, should I try to do a Hannibal impersonation? What's up, dude? Yeah.
Yes, you should. Keep going.
Yeah, you guys want to go fuck up the Romans or something? Like, I don't know.
Think about like the montage video of them picking up people. Like, oh, you hate the Romans too, barbarians?
Yeah, exactly.
Taking an axe out of a corpse. Yeah. I don't like the Romans.
Yeah.
Come with us.
Yeah. Where are you from? Long-haired Gaul. You know, in centuries it's going to be France, and they're going to call you a bunch of pussies for some reason. But long hair used to be the sign of a barbarian. That's a cool mustache.
Do more Hannibal stuff. That was so great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah? That's wild. Open your eyes. The Romans. God, I can't. I lost it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
lost it. It was
That
there,
first
and I
like couple seconds was
stopped. Right there.
fucking fantastic.
So Hannibal comes over, starts wreaking havoc in Italy. Like he smashes. There's this one battle. The battle. It's by a lake. I need my iPad back.
It's by a lake.
Yeah, it's a big. Yeah, it's the Battle of Trebia, where Hannibal killed 40,000 Roman people by a lake. Yeah. Then let's see.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Dude, your arm would get so. No, it's the Battle of Lake Trasimene, where he completely defeated a Roman army, killing 30,000 Romans.
Your arm would get so what? I don't think it was him
so
personally.
goddamn tired, just killing everyone. Like, oh man, these arms hurt. So
I got execution arm.
yeah, I got an execution.
I can't play
Execution
football.
Arm. That's another great band name.
Fuck yes, it is. Can't play football this weekend. Got execution arm.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll play next week.
Right, I'll play next week. But then so he's wreaking havoc. He's defeated a bunch of different Roman generals. Flavius something. His strategy was not to engage Hannibal because Hannibal was such a good general. He was like, stop. I don't know how it's going.
What's your strategy? Let's not fight him.
Yeah, exactly. He'll run out of food and that was basically. But then Romans being Romans, they're like, you're a goddamn coward. Flavius.
I know. What the fuck? Again,
and it's the Fabian strategy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very silly name. I feel like we talked about a different guy that was very similar. Flavius
Maxim. Yeah, there are a bunch of different names like that.
Bunch of different Flavius.
It's
so popular. It was a John.
Well, the Flavii dynasty was.
That's a real thing. The Flavii dynasty.
Yeah. The Judeo-Flavian dynasty. Yeah, Judeo-Claudian and then the Flavian dynasty.
I thought you were just saying a clever way to say multiple Flaviuses. Flabii. I was like, that was clever, Will.
It was Fabius. It was Quintus Maxus Fabius who was appointed dictator and then decided not to engage Hannibal. And so Hannibal.
You're a shitty dictator.
Yeah, exactly. Well, dictator meant something different then. It meant you were only in charge for a year.
It's something very different.
Yeah.
It did a whole switch.
You have absolute control over everything, but you're only in charge for a certain amount of time. Just because it was only for emergencies until Julius Caesar was like, I'm going to be dictator for life. And everyone goes, that's not what that was for.
No shit. No. I can't believe no one did this before me.
Yeah.
Y'all are idiots. You didn't do this first.
Yeah. So Hannibal is just marching through Rome, and he's not burning down Fabian's fucking houses in the countryside, and so everyone's like, I think this dictator's working with Hannibal. Like you're starting like,
smart.
yeah, dude,
oh, that's so smart. You're like, yeah, they'll fucking kill him themselves.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even,
This is so funny.
yeah, exactly.
He's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Burn down my house. If you're burning down everything, you can't do this. You're making me look like an asshole.
Exactly.
Burn down our house.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck, I guess we have to burn down our own house. And so the only way that they could get I forgot about the Battle of Cana.
That's so smart. That's what they go talk to an informant in front of they're like,
Yeah.
now they think you're talking to me.
Yeah,
now you
exactly.
better talk to me or they're going to kill you.
Exactly.
You'll still be killed. We can't protect you.
You're gonna get killed no matter what. Yeah. The worst defeat after Fabius was kicked out of being dictator, they were like, you suck, dude. The Roman Senate agreed to raise a force of 100,000 men, and they sent him to fight.
Who were they led by?
These guys named Vero and Paulus.
It was two? It was
There was the two councils. So that's the way their electoral system worked. They had two presidents, and they were both like, all right, we're going to lead this fucking army. And
George Bush and John Kerry leading armies. That would have been fantastic.
yeah, so, yeah, in essence, yes. But, yeah, no. Hannibal did a trick where he had his middle of his line really thin and retreat. So basically he collapsed in and then just ended up surrounding the Romans and killed about 90.
This guy's a smart motherfucker.
Dude, Hannibal Barca is arguably one of the greatest generals of all time.
Where's his Art of War book?
He was too busy killing Romans. He was too busy killing Romans.
I got time to write.
Yeah, and then So after that, a bunch of people started defecting, and the only way that they could get the fucking Hannibal out of Italy was to once again invade Africa. They're like, we can't beat him on his home turf. We've got to invade.
Look over here.
Yeah, we've got to invade Africa just to get this asshole out of Italy, because yeah.
And you're like, I want to stay here and kill, but I got to go protect my home.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah, and the guy who thought of that was Publio Scipius Africanus. He didn't get the name Africanus till after he won the Second Punic War. But
there's an English rapper named Scroobius Pip. It sounds very similar. Scroobius Pip's great.
That's great. Actually, I think this is a good time to cut off so we can go into the second part of the Second Punic War and close.
This
up
is
going to
be our first two-parter.
Huh? Yeah.
Isn't that exciting?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just know
maybe.
that, will Hannibal be able to beat Scipius Africanus?
We'll have some more cool-ass tricks to get people slaughtered. Probably.
Will the Libyans actually become a part of this?
Will they ever stop fucking with Africa for no reason?
I don't know, but we'll find out next time on
Silly Hats.
This is the hat word of the day.
Thank you, German woman. This is our hat word of the day.
Yeah.
What is our hat word today, William?
Well, actually, fun fact: I was researching over at the Village Hat Shop of San Diego
Since 1980.
Since 1980, yeah, they've come out with a couple of really cool new pages
Ooh,
on
buddy.
their website.
We love us some San Diego Hat Shop.
Yeah.
Whatever.
They have come up with a new one called different hats used in different sentences. So like old hat sentences.
Give me an example of what that.
Like they explain the history of like the term "a feather in your cap."
Okay, cool.
Which means like an award or something. Wearing many hats, of course. Being a man of many hats. Working a lot of different things. Let's see what that has to. It's just silly stuff like that. But this is my favorite one that they wrote. Okay. Are you familiar with the term "all hat, no cattle"?
No.
all hat, no cattle. It's an old Texas term.
I could tell.
Yeah, it means that when someone is playing the part of a rancher, but they don't have any cattle. You know,
that makes
like,
sense.
Yeah. It's sort of like
Something like Marshall Dillon would have called somebody in Gunsmoke.
Yes.
It's a phrase he would have said.
Yeah,
all
exactly.
Hat.
You know, Someone would be like, "Yeah, I can get it done, boss." And be like, "That guy's all hat, no cattle." You know, like he couldn't get it done.
Yeah.
You know, he could be a liar. You know,
Yeah.
things like that. I believe the example that the Village Hat Shop of San Diego uses. It's in 2003. Senator Robert Byrd declared that the Bush administration.
Any sentence that starts with that is going to probably go poorly. So tell me what he said.
He said after Bush said that he wanted the United Nations to be partners in rebuilding Iraq, he said that Bush boys all hat, no cattle.
Well, that actually was much nicer than I thought.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the nicest thing he's ever said about anybody.
Right.
Okay, so that's the hat word. It's not a hat word. It's a hat
we can
phrase.
do other hat. Yeah, it's a hat phrase.
Okay.
It's a hat
All
word.
right, that's fine.
I'm
We're
just
getting
playing
loose.
around.
We're getting loose.
I'm just playing around.
That's fine. No, I don't. We'll have to see if the Village Hat Shop approves.
Okay.
Does that pass muster? Village Hat Shop of San Diego since 1980?
Since 1980.
I better fucking hope it does.
I hope it does too.
Okay, that was yeah.
No, that was
Okay,
fine.
that's a good one.
Yeah,
That's
that
a good
was-
one.
yeah.
Hardy. We
Yeah.
learned that was
Right.
And again, shout out to the Village Hat Shop
San Diego.
since 1980. That's a lot of time.
Watch out, here they come, and they're coming fast. It's time for silly facts from the past. Silly facts from the past.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Silly Facts from the Past. This is just fun, silly shit that I find when I'm doing research.
Yeah, from the time period we're talking
From the
about.
time period that we're going on. All right, first silly fact that I got. First medical school was built in 259 BC in Alexandria by
Wow.
the Ptolemy II was like, hey, and he actually made the Jews build it and translate their Bible into Greek because he was trying to figure stuff out.
Like, put it in people language,
Yeah.
you piece of shit.
Exactly. Exactly. Here's the second fun fact. Construction of the Great Wall starts in
Wow.
257 BC. So a lot of things are popping all around the globe.
Man, they really don't build things like that. That shit has stood the test of time.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's made of like bone meal and like,
and bones probably.
right. Yeah. Exactly. So that started in 257 BC.
And they always reinforce it with more bones.
Yeah.
Every year.
Exactly.
More dissident
Yeah,
bones.
it's like milk, you know, like milk for your bones, but with bones for bones. Yeah,
from dissidents.
right. And then Aristophanes, he was a Greek philosopher and mathematician. He estimated the circumference of the Earth, and he was only like 2% off.
Damn.
So yeah, he.
That just sounds like a good guess. It was like, how could you have possibly known?
I have no idea.
You know?
Yeah, no.
Like, how did you do that? Stars. And
It was
what?
it was reflection of moon stuff. But once again, I spent most of my high school calling people like that dorks.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know exactly how he did it, but yeah.
I was high and on pills.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
no idea.
None.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I don't understand how anybody does anything like that. You know?
Right.
Like, I don't understand discoveries, but
You're
like,
discovering
I
stuff.
don't know, like, here's a chemical. It's like, how would you go about that?
Man, I've talked to one of my good buddies in Memphis who just got his PhD in gene therapy. Like, fucking dork.
I love when my friends have jobs I don't even know what the names mean. Biomedical engineer, huh? Okay, whatever. I don't-
Cool. Yeah.
Science, I
How
guess.
can you make my lotion not dry out my skin as much?
I need a food pill.
Yeah, is that
Is that something you're working on?
Yeah, exactly.
Biomedical engineer, could you get me a food pill? Put a shake in a pill.
In a pill. Yeah. I want all of the protein. Yeah.
Caramel flavored.
Yeah.
Is that you?
Please.
Is that your department?
Dum 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 dum. Just like retro futurism. Yeah. And then this smiling white man's trying to find a food pill. But yeah, so those are our facts of the day.
Those were our facts from the past.
Yeah, facts from the past.
That was fun.
Boom.
All right,
Yeah.
this is the first time I'm not going to say this thing I said last time. That's it for the facts.
Of the best.
Bye.
Bye.
And now it's time for
Lip it, lip it, lip it, lip it, ra-ba-ba-da-bow. Lip it.
This this is where we make fun of hats.
Thank you, British guy. This is Lidbits. This is the segment where we make fun of the hats we've been talking about. And we got some guests, as always. Today's guests are Drew Hollway.
Hello.
And Henry Price.
Hey, how's it going?
Henry runs a competing comedy history podcast, Hard Fried History. It's
That's
one of my
right.
favorites. I've been a guest on that, and
That's
it's a great show. And I think Drew's a mime.
Yes.
A bad one.
I also run a podcast, and it competes with nobody. We're called Community Shower.
Hell yeah.
It's mostly piss.
So all your piss podcast needs.
It's one of those cool ASMRs or whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, we were talking about the Punic Wars today. Rome facing Carthage for control of the Western Mediterranean, and right up there we have a wonderful Carthaginian captain's hat, which I think it just looks great. I don't know what y'all really think about it.
It's a pretty sexy hat. I must say, all the hats that you sent us, they look like hats for people who were less concerned about having their heads cut off and more concerned about having their sideburns cut off. All of them, they droop down kind of around the side, you know what I'm saying?
They do have a lot of chop protection.
Right, yeah. Take my head, but not my sideburns. My God, I
These
have
are
some
sick.
dignity here, you know what I mean?
Take my head, please. I believe that those helmets were originally intended not just for the captainry, but also for like the trainers of their elephant cavalry. Because if an elephant does manage to step on one of their trainers, that's gonna hurt.
Dude, elephant cavalry is pretty sick.
Hell yeah.
War elephants?
War elephants are dope. I imagine those. Yeah.
While researching this, I got sucked down a rabbit hole. I was just reading Appian's history of the Punic Wars.
Yep.
About 4 hours. It's just hundreds of pages of him saying, "God damn fucking elephants." Holy shit. But in Greek.
Yeah, no, that was pretty much it. We talked about that earlier today when Hannibal like he swore to his father when he was like 6 that he was like, all right, I'll murder Romans. Which
I'm keeping the murdering going.
That's a big.
Are you sure he wasn't Italian? That's some pretty Italian shit if I've ever heard it. You know?
That is a very Italian thing to do.
He was trying to get to his homeland.
Just murdering their way home.
Oh my god.
Yeah, can you flip to the next? You still got it.
A lot of people don't know this, but obviously the Carthaginians with the forked trident on top of their hat, their main allies were the Etruscans, and they had knives and spoons on top of their helmets.
They made a complete set.
Dual purpose. You know, you can't. You need all the space you.
They were
get
fighting
out
the
there on
sports.
field, you know what I mean? That's right. Yeah.
No, but that's horrifying. I can't imagine going into battle without them. That's just Hannibal embarrassing.
I knew there was a fucking pun coming.
Yeah,
I knew it.
I think these
30 more.
I think these guys might be Hannibal barking up the wrong tree.
I really did do research.
Yeah,
Such
there
a
you go.
tall hat. How's he gonna get in the Hamill car?
Yeah, that was
God
Hannibal,
damn.
brother.
Wow.
It took 7 years of Latin for this shit.
For a dumb hat podcast.
I knew this was coming, so I made a big choice in middle school.
Which should not have been supported. That would.
Yeah. No.
So that's a fun little Roman hat right there. That was probably some of their spearmen, their frontline boys. Not getting a lot more. No visors, I've noticed,
Yeah.
which seems rough under the Tuscan sun.
Good.
I have no pail to bail you out. I'm sorry.
And he said pale. I loved that.
So what you can't really tell is that obviously this is just a picture of like the ruins of a helmet that was found, probably underground because that's where they keep all the ruins. I don't know why every time a war happens, they're like, let's bury this shit. But those posts right there are to mount a crest. It's like the crests like they have on like that you see on most helmets, except it went sideways.
Yeah.
So going just looking straight on, you just see like a semicircle of like red feathers and Quintus Fabius Maximus Vericosus Cunctator.
Of course.
Yes.
Was he was a general during the Second Punic War.
He was.
He was the one who lost the devastating Battle of Cannae, and he's known as the father of guerrilla warfare. And what he did was, his big military strategy was like, hey, let's just take the big fucking red shit off our helmet and so we can hide behind rocks. And everyone said, holy shit, he's a genius.
No one's ever thought of that.
And the Romans end up winning that war. R.E. the Battle of Zama.
That's all it took to invent guerrilla warfare.
A
A lot of things hadn't been
Yeah.
done yet. You know what I mean? I really like this one. I saw this one and I thought, this looks like a condom for a giant that also had a chode. You know what I mean? Like, not everything was to scale.
It kind of looks like those little posts. It almost looks like you could just grab those and rip them
Yeah.
off and use the sideburn protectors
Yep.
as like knives.
I think so. Yeah.
A lot of people don't know this, but those are actually handles. So that
For
the Roman,
blowjobs?
so the Roman centurions could eat pussy better. We had to keep morale up, so they were just sucking each other's cocks on the battlefield. This was 216 BC. This is back when it was cool, before Jesus came around and ruined cocksucking. BC stands for before cocksucking was a sin. It's one word.
That's right. There's before cocksucking.
Let's go with that for our use times on the show.
Yeah. No longer work. Yeah.
Before cunnilingus and after
Dick sucking.
dick sucking.
After dick sucking. There we go.
After dome.
Hell yeah, I love Pauly Shore.
That was one of my favorite movies as a small kid. I was like, this is awesome.
And I think we have one more helmet over there. Or you got some more. You've done some deep dives, man, and I really respect.
I swear to God.
a lot of people have been like, I didn't write anything.
I did a lot on this.
And we appreciate it.
A lot of Jesus. This is the worst thing I've written.
All right.
Whew.
A lot of people obviously everyone knows about the devastating Battle of Cannae.
Yes.
Where the
What was his name again?
it was Quintus Fabius Maximus Vericosus
Right.
Cunctator.
Of course. Yes, indeed. Of course, yes.
Father of guerrilla warfare. A lot of people, everyone knows about this. Battle of Cannae, it's known, everyone knows about this. There's, it's a common misconception that it was pronounced the Battle of Cannae. They want to pronounce it the Roman way, but it's actually written in Scots, because, I can't see why the helmets look like this. All right, we can cut that out in post.
We will not be cutting that out. I'm going to use that as a clip to promote the show.
No. Oh, my name's Henry Price.
There you go.
Now,
So that guy sucks so much dick, they had to put gills on the top of his head.
Now, this one does seem to have a bill if you wore it backwards.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
That's the mullet protector.
There you go. Right, you have your sideburn protector work in conjunction with the mullet protector.
Long hair. It's very important.
A lot of archaeological studies have most only recently excavated the importance of the dew to the Romans. Right, it was very important to culture.
In my readings of Appian in the from reading Appian and from a lot of people don't know this, but the first of the Roman centuriones was riffraff.
There we go.
Yeah, there's the old joke about how different people, they've just learned the correct way to mispronounce Latin, and there's
It's a good one.
it's forgot the term, but it loosely translates to sick flow. For the,
Sick flow.
Yeah, for the centurions.
Sick AF. I don't know how they did AF.
Exactly. Y'all got any more? Y'all want to go in passing?
They had to put up helmets to cover up their hair because everyone knows this. The Roman Emperor Caligula famously went to the ocean and declared war on all his soldiers' sick waves.
That was actually in Gaul, but yes.
I enjoyed it.
Was that the beef with North Africa? I don't know.
No,
Can I make that joke?
All right, guys. Thank y'all so much
Thank
for doing
you.
this. Yeah,
We
this
appreciate
is
y'all.
one of my favorite lids bits thus far.
Where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Dr. Pee Pee Poo Poo.
I love that so much. That was so hard the first time you said that shit.
Drew Hollway on Facebook, DREW space HOLLWAY 713-829-9609. If you have any complaints or you want to talk about the Battle of Kenai. I got a podcast called Community Shower with Nate Spidolato and Justin Massengale.
Cool. Cool. Henry, where can people find you?
Just follow the podcast, Hard Fried History, HFA's podcast on Twitter, Hard Fried History everywhere else. And follow me on Amazon. I'm Henry Price on Amazon. You can read all my book reviews.
There we go. Perfect.
That sounded like a voice. That has reviewed some books.
You got to get in the croak. You know what I mean? Yeah.
This guy reads books.
You didn't talk about Apian at all.
I just read scrolls.
Thank you, fellas, so much.
Really appreciate it.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Welcome to Shoutouts. This is where we shout out different teachers or people who've inspired us. Sometimes Nick doesn't remember any of his teachers' names, so he kind of shouts out whatever he wants. I want to give a huge shout out to Coach Malowitz, one of my high school football coaches / health coach, who taught me a bunch of really good things in class and on the field. One of my favorite memories of him is when he grabbed me by my face mask, and said, "Will, if weed and pussy made you a better football player, I'd give them to you myself." But they don't, so just do push-ups, which really just teaches you about work ethic and, not to get lost in a hedonistic lifestyle as a young man. He also, I think his grandparents fled Nazi Germany, so one time we had a foreign exchange student named Nicolas come up to him and goes, "Hello, I'm going to play defensive line." He goes, "Das Juden, motherfucker!" and then he made him do bear crawls across the field, which just made everyone laugh.
Yeah.
So
wow, that
big
was
shout out, Coach Malowitz.
Hell yeah!
I thought he was
Coach Malowitz.
I thought he was a hard ass, when I was fucking in school. But then he probably was. But then you see him afterwards, like, "Oh yeah, I don't have to yell at you anymore. You're an adult." I saw him when I was like 22. But anyway, big shout out to him.
That's what's up. I'm actually gonna shout out Coach too, Coach Ferguson.
Yeah.
Didn't really teach me anything. He was like my geography teacher. One of those, like, he had
Classic,
to be. He didn't know shit about it. He was like wrong about where some of the countries were. Just basic stuff he didn't know. But we didn't have to do shit in that class. It was fun. We just sat there and fucking colored in maps.
8 hours. He kills 8 hours before he gets excited about baseball or whatever. Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to him.
Cool.
All right, those are our shout outs.
Yep.
That is this episode of Silly Hats, our first two-parter. First part of our first two-parter. That's exciting. So yeah, make sure you subscribe and do all that stuff. SillyHatsPodcast.com. Will, where can they find you?
You can find me. You can find me at Will_Loden on Instagram, and then William Lynn Loden Jr. on Facebook, and all of my dates and stuff will be on gunsandliquor.com. Gunsandliquor.com. And Nick, where can they find you?
At Nick Hates People on Instagram, nickhatespeople.com for dates, merch, shit like that. And but the most important thing, tell people about this podcast.
Yep.
Subscribe. We're on Twitch, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, all that shit. SillyHatsPodcast.com on the lovely Whiskey Brothers Network at the beautiful Whiskey Brothers Studio.
Yeah, that's us.
So yeah, be well. And tell people about this.
Yeah.
We can't stress that enough.
Please. I'm tired of doing drywall.
We're sick of our drywall.
Help me follow my dreams.
Oh, and send us shit you want us to talk about in the next season if you want.
Yeah,
like conflicts.
definitely. Yeah.
Did we mention that yet?
I don't think we've ever mentioned that yet. Yeah.
Because, for next season, we'll take all that shit to account. So, send us, ideas for conflicts that you want to hear about. And they don't have to be real hard history. It could be silly shit, too.
Dude, I like silly shit. For Silly Hats?
Yeah. I mean, it's in the name there.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Oh, that worked well. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
That concludes this episode of Silly Hats. Thank you for tuning into our program. Created by Will Loden and Nick Palermo. Hosted by Will Loden and Nick Palermo. Researched by Will Loden. Audio and video editing by Nick Palermo. Video recording and additional video support, Slade Ham and Jerry Wayne Longmire. Brought to you by the Whiskey Brothers Network. Recorded at the Whiskey Brothers Studio. Featuring comedians Drew Hollway and Henry Price. Special thanks to the Houston Public Library and the Village Hat Shop of San Diego, California since 1980. Follow Silly Hats Podcast on all forms of social media at Silly Hats Podcast. For a full bibliography, follow us on Instagram. We'd like to especially thank the Whiskey Brothers for their support. Drink up, chaps.